Hello, I'm DarkerDevotee, and welcome back to more The Novelist. Yes, I was like, was that the right game? It is the right game. In the last video, we decided to side, well, we looked at everyone's memories and stuff, but then we decided to side with Dan for him to continue his book. I kind of feel bad that I didn't help out my wife with her art side of things, but we can't go back now. Catching up, it's not cactus. Okay. When Tommy continued to struggle with his words, reading, writing type thing, because we've discovered in the first video that he has learning difficulties or something like that. It's night time, it's nice. Pleasant. What does it say? Does it say anything interesting?
Barb, sorry it's been so long since I've written. Things have been hectic around here, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get things back on track. I don't really want to get into it, but we're getting pulled in a lot of different directions right now. Nothing hurtful, just competing priorities, I guess. Although those can get worse and worse over time. I mean, Dan and I, before we got up here, we'd started to drift. Look at that. I said I didn't want to get into it, and I did anyway. Enough about me. Please tell me you're doing well, and I hope this doesn't stress you out too much. I promise to write a happier letter soon. Yours always, Linda.
Oh, she's just feeling really lonely. Second best. It's like to him. Second best to him. That writing just comes first. It's sad, really. We can make time. We can. I really want to read that note. Did you have to sit just there? I could start flickering some lights and stuff, I guess, but let's control you. Let's see what memories and stuff you have. But this game, it has some really challenging moments of what to choose.
We barely talked yesterday.
Talk to your wife. Just manage your time better in the day.
Wow, you're right. I guess we've just been so busy.
Yeah. I mean, at least, because at one point you said that you were sitting at your desk eating. At least have a nice family meal around the table. I say this, and I don't think I've ever really eaten at a table before, other than Christmas times and stuff, but What are you writing?
Just got back from the show, if you can even call it that. I didn't sell a single piece, which isn't a surprise given the turnout. I know Dan had other things on his mind, but I told him how important it was to me. It was such a good opportunity to figure out what I want to do when we get back home, too. But I can't make up my mind based on such a half-hearted exhibit.
Aww.
Was that Dan's way of telling me he's not ready for me to go back?
No, it's just...
I don't want to read too much into it, at least not so soon, but it's really hard not to.
It's making me feel even more bad now not choosing you. He doesn't feel like that. He's just stressed and he wants to get his own work done, and yes, that meant that he put himself before helping you, but he doesn't... It isn't like he doesn't, I don't know, love you any less or anything like that. He's just... Is that it for memories? Yeah, right. Did not mean to click on back onto her.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
Are you kidding me?
I did not mean to do that. I have to make room with what matters. Okay. Do you have anything for me? Yeah. I'm getting more ideas by looking at the stars, are you?
Did it. Got it to Paul on Monday and just about dropped on the spot.
Hey, nice.
Barely slept Sunday night, but damn it, I got it in. Abject terror is a pretty strong motivator. Linda understood, I guess. She had her own deadlines, so at least she could identify, but in the end it was still a choice, and she didn't let me off the hook.
True.
Can't blame her, really. Sometimes you just have to make tough calls. That's why they're called tough calls.
That's true, that's true. May or may not have been the right choice, who knows? But you got your work done. That's something to be proud of. Maybe now you can take a little bit of break before you're doing your final draft, whatever your final copy. Don't know what stage you're at, but whatever. They're fighting about not spending much time together.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped.
Oh.
I just...
Whoa.
Okay. Okay, where's Tommy? Is there anything in here that I can look at? Her journal.
Dan and I had a good conversation today. Well,
That's good.
We'll have to wait and see if it was actually good, but I
Alright.
feel like I got my point across about family time.
Yes.
We've been getting a little frayed on the little things lately, and it reminded me of something Anne said one time. Love is a behavior, not an emotion. If something's important to you, you show it with your actions. We weren't doing so well with that before we got here. I told Dan my idea. I want us all to eat together at 7 every night, with family time after that. Tommy's wiped out by 8:30, so we'd get a solid hour and a half as a family, and then Dan and I could have the rest of the night to ourselves. And I think 7's a reasonable request. The rest of the
Perfect.
working world knocks off at 5, right?
Exactly.
It
That
doesn't
was
really
actually
matter
gonna be
what we
my
do with the time, just that we spend it together.
next point.
It's easy to make excuses when you've got a lot going on, which is why patterns help. I hope he feels the same way.
That's more than reasonable. More than reasonable. Weekly routine. Tuesday movie night. Nice. Check channel guide or maybe go to Town. Family dinner. Too old fashioned? Nah. Picnic. Farm market. I do enjoy a good farmer's market. Does that make me like a 50-year-old or something? A 50-year-old couple? Oh, hi. You've been spotted. Oh, wait. You should get away as soon as possible by moving to an area where no one can see you. You cannot possess lights when a character sees you. But once you get out of sight, you can use possession to remain unseen.
Told you I'd find. Wait.
Oops. You saw nothing.
You can't hide.
I can. That's right, it's just a kid. If you try and tell his parents, they probably just think that. They're just some sort of weird imaginary friend type thing. That's all it is. Tommy had to stop looking for you, but now he's become suspicious. If he spots you again, he becomes spooked, and you won't be able to find a compromise with him in this chapter. That's fine. I wasn't going to choose him anyway. I don't think. Actually, maybe I was going to choose him. No, I was going to choose her. You can check the family status by pushing tab. Okay. I wasn't going to pick him anyway. I was going to try and make my wife happy in this chapter. Oh, what haven't I looked at? I haven't looked at Timmy. Tommy. Can we call him Timmy? Timmy.
Can't beat me.
Where are you? Where is the little bugger? Bigger bugger. Anything in here? No? Where are you? He's playing somewhere. Just don't know where. Is he back downstairs? I'm sure he went upstairs. I can't get that light. Oh, this light.
Hi, honey.
Can I get any light from here? So annoying. Oh, I haven't read that yet, have I? It's flickering.
Alan, this letter might come from out of the blue, but do you remember when you told me about Bobby falling behind on reading? Looks like we're there with Tommy. We knew he was struggling when we came up here, but his teacher gave us a list of books for him to work on over the break and said we should see how he responded to the change in environment. She gave us a few sample readings and told us to keep an eye on how he was grasping the concepts. Tommy still isn't there, and long story short, the pediatrician in town knows a specialist who gave us some exercises to try. They seem pretty straightforward, but I wanted to write and see if you had any tips that helped you guys with Bobby. Damn, just realized I didn't even ask how you've been. I'm sorry. This stuff is just a lot to think about. Dan.
Yeah. I get like that. I have so many things on my own mind, I forget to actually ask how people are doing. It's terrible, but I get into that habit quite a bit, unfortunately. But hey, I didn't... It's gonna sound terrible. I didn't even read my first book until I was like 16 or something stupid. So I've struggled with reading like my entire life, and yeah, because I knew I was such a bad reader, I didn't want to pick up a book. I was just like, well, I can't concentrate on the book. I don't know what these words really mean. I knew I could read, but I wasn't a good reader. Then yeah, literally just like, probably even later than 16. To be fair, the first books I properly read were Harry Potter. I didn't read those. I only read those like 4 years ago. So not even that. So I was like 18 when I started reading my first proper books. That's awful. I read like one book, The Enemy, when I was in high school, first year of high school, 2009, 2010, and yeah, I read that. But then after that, I was just like, no, I'm so bad at reading. I'm not gonna bother. But now I love reading, absolutely love them. Just so they don't need to worry that Tommy's not interested in books, because of one day he might suddenly start being interested. One day. What am I doing?
Blast off.
Okay, it's this time. Family should have dinner around the table every night. Yes, definitely. I'm not even going to look at anyone else. Table is definitely a must. Okay. So a quick video. I might do two nights in one then. Selecting the table. Choose Linda's chore resolution for the chapter. Dan and Tommy were disappointed. Why would they be disappointed at having family meal together? They will not be disappointed. We're doing it. We need to make her happy, and we need to try and fix this family properly. We can't just all be doing separate things around the house. It just doesn't work. We end up just breaking apart, and no family time. We'll all be just like really nasty and upset and depressed, and then because we're so depressed, we then won't have the motivation, the mindset to actually do the things like drawing and writing and whatever the fuck Tommy does. Plays with his toys. A final entry before I depart. The bank would no doubt prevent me from purchasing the house due to the inherent conflict of interest, but given the history of frequent ownership changes, I feel confident the mortgage department will be glad to have the property off their hands. I believe I can set up a trust or perhaps a shell company and convince Mr. Lorry that we must part with the property for less than the market value. I feel certain that I can appeal to conservative nature. I believe it will prove to be a shrewd investment as a rental property, and I think I'll now understand why people do not stay for the intended periods. I find myself unable to describe the feeling precisely, but in my time here I have found my mind drifting in strange ways, as if it was not always my own. Really? But the natural beauty is undeniable. Perhaps shorter visits are a wiser use of the property. Yes, I believe that is a fine idea indeed. Yes, it has like a kind of nice little like family holiday getaway home type thing where you can stay for like a month or two a year type situation. Anything else around here? I've always wanted like that kind of thing. It's like where I have another home to visit when I want to get away from this place, which is like most of the time. But anything else around here? Not by looks. Hiccups. Not by looks of it. And that wasn't a request, that was a question. Alright. Okay, I don't think there's anything else around here. Let's just whisper into his ear. What should we do? Linda was glad when Dan committed to a family dinner each night, and she made sure to give Tommy extra help in the morning. Being able to count on quality time every night and knowing Dan would have dedicated time together gave a relationship a sense of stability and helped her face other challenges. Alright. Tommy didn't understand why his father, a writer, wouldn't help him with his reading lessons. Linda devoted herself to Tommy's morning practices, but only having one parent there sent a message Tommy couldn't forget: the sound of Dan's typewriter drifting down the stairs. And study, bloody, bloody, blahs. And Dan couldn't figure out a way to please everyone and still made room for time and focus he needed to write. He was able to compromise and fit in one unbroken session each day, but for the rest of the day he worked around his family commitments and tried to make the most of a shorter session. The lack of focus came through in his work. There you go, I could pause it. And that's how Kaplan's first month at the House of the Cliff came to an end. Wait, this can't be the end of the game, right? Can't be. Dan sent what he had so far to Paul, and it went badly. Dan knew the work wasn't very good, and Paul echoed that judgment. He promised to keep the news from the Groove Field for the time being, but told Dan that without a major improvement in quality, the book might not be published. That's not good. A few nights later, Dan and Linda got a babysitter and went out for a date, but they both felt like they were going through the motions and could barely carry a conversation. They knew that their first months at home had gone well, that their trip was not saving their marriage, as they hoped. What could have been a pleasant night out was an awkward and troubling instead. That's not good. They need to get back into it. It's been a while since they've had a good date and stuff, and some good time together. The next day, Dan made a good on a promise to take Tommy into the woods and look for arrowheads, though he barely had time. Tommy could tell that his father was disinterested, but once he found an arrowhead, his spirit improved a bit. Dan waited while Tommy explored but didn't join in, and shortly after Tommy found the long arrowhead, they returned home. The lone arrowhead. Okay. They still had 2 more months on the coast, and there was a story, and the story was just beginning. Okay, so the game's not ended yet? Because that would be really short if it was. Okay. Vacation. Okay, it was summer. And summer was the time. So I'm going to turn off a few lights in the house. Lights have been turned off, can't be possessed. It's alright. I won't have any problem with that. I tend to just wander around freely anyway. Actually, you know what? I am just going to leave it as one week, I guess. It's not 1 day, it's 1 week. Yeah, 1 week of video. I think it's going to be a short video, but I'm going to leave it as that. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is the beginning of the story so far. When arriving, this is like per week. Okay, so alright, it's fine. We know what happened. but yeah, so yeah, it's been an interesting one. We decided to side with the family, with the wife this time. We had a nice dinner round the table each night at 7. So 7 onwards, it's family and wife time. That's very, very reasonable. He's published his first draft and it didn't go so well, so we need to try and concentrate on that a little bit, but trying to do that whilst also keeping the family happy is not going to be an easy task, that's for sure. But people with, I don't know, 9 to 5 jobs, and they can still do things in their life, right? So why can't he with his writing? Dunno. But we shall see how this continues in the next video, I guess. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done this already, and I shall see you all in the next video. A cheerio! Cheerio!